Across the high-rise towers and secluded estates of the ultra-wealthy, you'll find a curious paradox. Behind the glass walls and sprawling grounds, many of them live with less. Not less wealth, but less noise, less distraction, less clutter. While the world imagines their happiness is purchased in excess, their true fulfillment hides in subtraction. What do they know? What secrets have they unearthed that make them not prisoners of abundance, but architects of freedom? In this video, we step into that hidden world, where extreme minimalism collides with luxury living, and where owning less becomes the ultimate marker of wealth. This isn't about money, but about a mindset, a way of designing life so that stress shrinks, clarity expands, and time itself feels richer. Stay with me, because as we unfold these insights, you'll see how the principles used quietly by the ultra-rich can guide any one of us to live lighter, freer, and deeply fulfilled. Walk into the private homes of the ultra-wealthy who embrace minimalism, and you'll notice something striking. Not the grandeur of chandeliers or walls lined with possessions, but the air itself. Space becomes their most prized luxury. Vast, uncluttered rooms whisper of intentionality, each item chosen with care rather than impulse. In a culture where most people spend their lives chasing more, these individuals have learned that true fulfillment emerges not from accumulation, but from the deliberate creation of emptiness. Space, in their world, is not wasted, it is curated. This quiet wealth of space changes the way they live. With fewer objects demanding attention, there is less visual noise, less hidden stress, fewer subconscious reminders of unfinished tasks. In a life stripped of excess, the mind stretches out, unburdened, just as lungs expand in fresh air after a storm. It is here, in this cultivated simplicity, that they reclaim what so many lack: freedom from distraction. The result is not sterility or coldness, but a canvas where clarity, calm, and even creativity thrive. History offers glimpses of this wisdom too. In the Japanese tea houses of Kyoto centuries ago, wealthy patrons did not flaunt their riches with gold, but instead with minimal design: a tatami mat, a single flower, a bowl of tea. The less there was, the more profound the experience became. Today's ultra-rich minimalists echo this principle, quietly weaving it into their modern sanctuaries. They have realized that fulfillment is not a product to be purchased, but an atmosphere to be cultivated, and it begins with space. When you learn to value emptiness as much as objects, you begin to see life differently. Rooms open not only around you, but within you. The ultra-rich know this secret, that abundance is not how much you can fit into your world, but how much you can allow yourself to release. Among the secrets of ultra-rich minimalists, one stands taller than possessions: their relationship with hours. Not in the sense of scheduling meetings or building empires, but in the art of leaving time unclaimed. While most of the world fills every corner of their calendars, these individuals treasure blankness. An empty afternoon becomes their quiet luxury. A morning without demands their deepest indulgence. They guard this space as fiercely as others guard wealth, for they know that unclaimed hours are the true currency of fulfillment. The effect is transformative. A day that is not fragmented by endless tasks becomes a sanctuary for presence. They stroll through gardens slowly, not because they lack ambition, but because they refuse to allow urgency to chain them. They have discovered that productivity without pause only breeds exhaustion, while carefully preserved stillness opens the door to creativity, reflection, and peace. History is rich with echoes of this principle. The philosopher Seneca, centuries ago, observed that life is not short but often wasted. The ultra-rich minimalists of today seem to live by this lesson, consciously creating gaps in their days rather than filling them with noise. These gaps are not empty, they are fertile. Out of them emerge sharper insights, calmer decisions, and a deeper connection to themselves and others. It is a paradox many miss. We often think time spent doing less is wasted, but those who master it find themselves living more fully. Their fulfillment comes not from conquering the hours, but from releasing them, letting them breathe. They recognize that a calendar without space is a life without clarity. For anyone seeking freedom, the lesson is clear. Treat your hours as treasures, not as containers to be filled. Protect the unclaimed spaces in your day as though they were rare jewels. In them lies the same wealth the ultra-rich minimalists guard so carefully, the wealth of a life not rushed, but deeply lived. If money is what most people chase, attention is what the ultra-rich minimalists protect. Not the attention of others, but their own, what they notice, where their gaze rests, the quality of their focus. In a world constantly fractured by notifications, advertisements, and noise, they treat attention as their most sovereign possession. Every glance, every thought, every listening moment becomes intentional. Step inside their routines, and you will not find them endlessly scrolling or scattering their minds across dozens of trivialities. Instead, you'll see them cultivating the rare ability to be fully present with what matters, whether that is a conversation, a piece of art, or the quiet observation of a sunset over still waters. By stripping away excess, they reclaim their ability to direct their awareness like a beam of light, sharpening its intensity instead of letting it diffuse into distraction. The roots of this principle stretch far back. Ancient monastics in Europe spoke of custody of the eyes, the deliberate choice of where to rest one's attention as a way to purify the soul. The ultra-rich minimalists have rediscovered this practice in modern form, recognizing that mastery of attention is mastery of life. With guarded focus, they are not pulled by every passing trend or crisis. They remain steady, anchored, and light. This sovereignty of attention brings them a deeper kind of wealth. Stress recedes, because the endless tug-of-war of distractions is no longer theirs to fight. Their relationships grow richer, because their presence is undivided. Their creativity flourishes, because focus creates the conditions for insight. Where others live in a storm of scattered impressions, they walk in clarity. For those outside this circle, the lesson is powerful. Treat your attention as though it were gold, not something to be traded cheaply. Withdraw it from the clutter, place it where meaning resides, and watch as fulfillment grows not from what you acquire, but from what you truly notice. The ultra-rich minimalists know this secret well. Control of attention is control of destiny. Among the most overlooked luxuries of all is silence. Not the awkward quiet of a room where words are withheld, but the deep, restorative silence that holds no interruptions. Ultra-rich minimalists understand that silence is not emptiness, it is a sanctuary. They seek it as carefully as others seek possessions, carving out places and moments where noise cannot intrude. This cultivated quiet is more than an escape. It is an environment where the self can finally be heard. In silence, decisions become clearer, emotions settle, and the restless hum of modern life fades into perspective. For those who embrace it, silence is not passive. It is active, alive, and brimming with the potential to restore balance. The ultra-rich do not fill every corner of their lives with chatter and stimulation. They allow silence to do its subtle work of refinement. History reminds us that the greatest minds treasured this same sanctuary. Leonardo da Vinci sought long stretches of quiet contemplation before sketching his visions. Native American elders would pause in silence before speaking, letting the weight of words gather meaning. Silence has always been the soil where wisdom grows, and today's minimalists of wealth and intention recognize its enduring value. The sanctuary of silence offers another gift. It reduces the hidden toll of constant stimulation. In quiet, stress levels sink, the nervous system softens, and creativity emerges naturally. The ultra-rich who live minimally do not measure silence as wasted time. They measure it as earned freedom, a freedom from the endless pull of noise, both external and internal. For anyone seeking fulfillment, the invitation is simple yet profound. Protect silence as you would protect something fragile and priceless. Step away from the constant rush of voices and screens, even if only for a short while, and notice how your mind rearranges itself in the stillness. The ultra-rich minimalists know what many forget. Silence is not absence, but presence, the purest wealth we can carry. Fulfillment, the ultra-rich minimalists quietly reveal, is as much about who enters your life as what enters your space. They understand that every relationship, every interaction, carries a weight far heavier than most imagine. Surroundings are important, but so too are the people who inhabit them. The richest minimalists do not simply network. They curate their social environment with the same precision they apply to their possessions. These individuals choose connections that expand their horizons without fragmenting their focus. They seek voices that challenge, uplift, and inspire, and they let go of those that drain, distract, or dilute their energy. It is not social elitism, but intentional living. Understanding that emotional and intellectual bandwidth is finite, and that the quality of attention given to others is as sacred as the time they protect for themselves. History whispers the same lesson. Consider the salons of Enlightenment Europe, where thinkers surrounded themselves with a few brilliant minds rather than crowded assemblies. Or the circles of philosophers in ancient Athens, where a handful of mentors shaped perspectives that would endure centuries. The ultra-rich minimalists echo this wisdom in the modern era, consciously choosing influence over proximity, depth over abundance. The payoff is subtle but profound. Freed from the constant friction of draining relationships, their mental and emotional landscapes remain uncluttered. Ideas flourish, creativity deepens, and fulfillment grows in ways that mere wealth or possessions could never achieve. In a life sculpted with intentionality, these curated circles act as accelerators of joy, purpose, and insight. For those seeking a life of freedom and lightness, the takeaway is clear. Protect not only your space, your attention, your hours, and your silence, but also the company you keep. Fulfillment is rarely accidental. It is cultivated deliberately, quietly, and with discernment. The ultra-rich minimalists know this secret well. The richness of life is measured less by what surrounds you, and far more by the meaningful influences you allow in. As we step back from the lives of ultra-rich minimalists, a pattern emerges, one not of opulence, but of intentional absence. Space, unclaimed hours, sovereign attention, the sanctuary of silence, and carefully chosen connections. Each is a subtle thread woven into the tapestry of fulfillment. Taken together, they reveal a life unburdened, light, and rich in meaning. This is a wealth that no accumulation can buy, and yet it is accessible to anyone willing to reclaim it. If these insights resonate, consider exploring further. On this channel, you'll find other paths into intentional living, from the quiet, enduring lessons of elderly wisdom to the thought-provoking landscapes of hollow era. Each playlist is designed to expand the mind, inspire deliberate choices, and offer practical ways to live more freely. So take a moment, breathe, and step into the possibilities. The principles you've discovered here are just the beginning. Let them guide you toward clarity, resilience, and the kind of fulfillment that is both profound and enduring. And when you're ready, dive deeper into the rest of the channel to uncover more secrets of living intentionally, light, and truly free.